at y'all with another one. Today we're doing the 2025 Reptile Room Winter Edition. And when I say Winter Edition, I'm not playing. This is what I mean. Winter Edition. Alright y'all, so before I begin the tour, I just wanted to give y'all a little bit of context on myself, who I am. So basically ever since as long as I can remember, I always had like a fascination with nature and wildlife. It started off with I think Jurassic Park pretty much. I was like a dino kid. My first interactions with like critters, I guess you could say, is me catching grasshoppers in my grandma's backyard in her garden as like just a little kid. I would just catch the grasshoppers and like put them in jars with grass and just sit there and watch them eat the grass, and I would just be fascinated. And then I progressed to like lizards. I got my first exotic pet, which was a bearded dragon at like 7. So I just basically moved up the food chain, and it spiraled into what you see here. I'm now 23, and my plans with this channel is to basically show off these cool, misunderstood animals, you know what I mean? Reptiles and amphibians, to be specific. Whether it's showing you them in a captive setting through these setups like these, or going out into their natural habitat. Or hopefully in the future we can do more like traveling and stuff like that, but I just want to get a chance to highlight these animals. But yeah, y'all didn't come here to look at me and hear me blab. Right here I got a mouse, some dubias, and some worms. Let's get to the tour, and hopefully we can do a little bit of feeding as well. I think something's in there. Alright, so we'll start off with the first tank here, which is my 20-gallon hexagonal tank. Yeah, this is 20 gallons in total, as you can see, but it is also tall, so gives it a real unique just look to it. I really like the way this tank looks. There's actually nothing in here at the moment, but it's just sitting here marinating for some critters. So feel free to comment down below what you want to see in here. Something cool, something active. We got to do this tank justice. But basically with these tanks, I'm trying to replicate the natural environment of a real habitat. So with this tank, I was kind of aiming for like a Midwestern vibe. You see we got the pine in here, like a kind of like a deciduous forest edge or something like that. I don't know, like a forest edge. You got some real moss in here. I'm actually really excited about this moss because, as you can see, it's actually starting to grow. And it's real tricky to grow moss, but I feel like if you have I got a green thumb, so it takes a certain green thumb to really get moss going. And in these conditions in this tank, I guess, are good enough for this moss to take off. So this fern isn't doing too good, but I got faith in it. Hopefully it'll bounce back. But yeah, nice little simple setup. I don't know, I was thinking maybe like some little snakes would be cool in here, maybe like a skink or something. But you guys let me know what you would want to see in here. Maybe multiple things, a little communal setup. All these tanks are fully bioactive with real materials, real plants. There's a whole culture of millipedes, worms, and springtails, and just all the soil fauna you want in there. I want my tanks to be as biodiverse as possible. That's how you really mimic a healthy ecosystem. This tank is sitting on this pretty cool shelf, like perfect little shelf that I got from Goodwill. Has all my cologne, deodorant, springtail cultures, calcium supplements, pellets, miscellaneous stuff. But yeah, let's go on to the next tank. Here we have actually the newest addition to the room. These are the Newt, the noob or Donaby crusted newts, however you want to pronounce it. But yeah, this is the newest addition. I got these guys like about 6 months ago. It would have been maybe a little over 6 months ago now. And this tank is just doing phenomenal. Again, I'm aiming to replicate a natural habitat here, and this would be just pretty much the edge of a pond is what I'm trying to mimic right here in this setup. It's just absolutely teeming with life. We got about 3 different types of snails in here. We got the Daniels, as you can see. We got cherry shrimp, the newts themselves, which are they're around this time of day, they're not as active as they usually. They have like increments of activity, and right now they just seem to be chilling. There's the male right there. But like I said, we're gonna do this is a feeding / tour video, so I'm gonna put some worms in here and also put some flakes in here for the fish. See Demetrius Johnson back there. But yeah, Let's go ahead and give these guys a little feed. So it turns out the worms in that container were no longer with us. So I got some blowworms I'm gonna feed these guys with. They love them just as good, just as much. Just gotta these little frozen cubes, and you just plunk them in the water. They float to the bottom. The newt sniff them out, and yeah, the rest is history. Just like that. The fish will pick at them. Everybody in this tank will get a little bit of these blowworms, the shrimp, and all that. So just gotta wait till they float to the bottom. See the newt sniffing out the worms. They got a pretty decent sense of smell, so they'll sniff out whatever food's in the water, come up and just start eating. There you go, boss. That's a piece of moss. Super cool little newts. I got these guys specifically because, as you can see, they got that little crest, or at least the males do. But during breeding season, this thing is gonna look like a dimetrodon. If you know, you know. If you know ball, you know what I'm talking about. But it's gonna have a huge just spine or sail, and it's gonna be so dramatic, and it looks amazing, like Godzilla. So I can't wait to hopefully get that on video for you guys. Their little mating rituals and dance. But yeah, as you can see, there's all sorts of life in this tank. Even just like little microscopic things, like little copepods I see just at night floating around at the surface. It's crazy. And I'm still adding more things in here. Look at the Daniels back there sparring. These two will just go at it all day sometimes. And that beautiful flashy, like this is like them just kind of sparring, two males just duking it out pretty much. Duking it in. There's this guy. I love this tank. Easily the most active tank in the room. Constant action, constant movement. The newts are always moving, the fish are always moving. It's always something to look at. It's always something going on here. I love it. You can see they use like a vacuum motion when eating, like a kind of sucking, like a, you know what I mean? Let's move on to this guy. Take number 3. This here is the boy, the man Gurag. As you can see, front and center. Probably the oldest member of the reptile room. He's going on like, I think I had him about like 3 years, I want to say. I'll put it up on screen if I'm wrong. But I found him actually as a freshly metamorphed. Always wanted a tiger salamander. I wasn't gonna buy one offline because they're pretty much wild caught anyway. So, you know, I just went and got one myself. And that's how we got Gurag. You can see he's out chilling. He's very comfortable in this setup. In these colder months, he actually is out and active more so than like August, in the middle of the summer. He'll pretty much stick to the entrance of his burrow, or he'll be like underneath there, just fully in burrow mode. But as soon as it like starts to cool down around November, October, he just wanders his tank. Sometimes he'll be aura farming on his deer skull. That's a real deer skull, by the way, that I found. Like right now, he's just chilling. Super naturalistic setup. Again, we're trying to mimic a certain habitat here. This is supposed to be a deciduous forest. Okay, like smack dab in the middle of the forest. where you find these guys under logs and whatnot. But yeah, he's thriving. Let's see if we can give this guy feed. He's always ready to eat. He'll eat anything, even my hand. I'm just gonna give him a nice little dusting, bada bang. Give him a little shake and bake, you know what I'm saying? Alright, let's give this guy a feed. I never seen this man turn down a meal, okay? I'm just gonna simply place it right in front of his face. Bang! Just like that. Sheesh. Imagine that thing was the size of a cow. Boy, we'd be cooked. You walk past the wrong log and that thing just lunges out at you. I always imagine Gurog is like, just imagine him in like an ancient gladiator, just big gladiator arena, bro. You gotta chant to summon him. You know he's in chains, bro. You just gotta Gurog, 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 Gurog. Got hundreds of men cheering him on as he exited the cage, the beast. But yeah, that's him. I always loved me a good salamander. Definitely was a mandatory addition to this room. I had to have me a tiger salamander. And here he is. Eastern tiger salamander, Gurog. Alright guys, now we're on to the fourth tank. This is my boy Leche in here. The milk snake. He's a Pueblo milk snake. He's not out right now because I just cleaned his glass and kind of disturbed him. But usually he'll be sitting there chilling in his water bowl. If it was warmer out, my room's kind of cold right now, and intentionally to kind of insinuate the winter months for these guys. But in the summer, it's pretty warm in here, and he's always out. He's always active. He's always just out and about, cruising around. He'll be just tangled around his skull. That's a real possum skull, by the way. Definitely very comfortable in this tank. I feel like most people complain about how they don't see their milk snakes often when keeping them, but I feel like when you keep them like this in a natural setting, I mean, these guys are from Pueblo, Mexico, so they get a decent amount of vegetation, you know what I mean? So this coverage really helps them to feel secure and come out. I don't know if you can see, but there's actually bits of shed skin in there. I don't even take out his shed anymore because of the isopods and the springtails just break it down so quickly. Like, this was a full shed in here last week, but it's almost gone. That's just a little belly scale right there. But we do have a mouse right here, so let's go ahead and put him in there and see if we can lure Leche back out. Alright guys, so I just plopped a mouse in there and it's dead. It's dead. I don't know how this is possible because I just heard it scratching around like literally a couple minutes ago. I think something's in there. I never had this happen to me ever. I sometimes I feed them live mice, sometimes I don't, but I got them a live mice for the purpose of this video, and also I'm giving some enrichment, you know what I mean? It's their purpose to limit mouse populations in the wild, so letting them do what he's supposed to do, it gives him something to do, a hunt down, and do that natural behavior, you know what I mean? But he'll still eat this mouse, but I'm just concerned, like, I don't know if it's playing dead right now, or if it's like something's wrong with it, if it's sick. I don't want to give that to my snake, but I'll just leave it in there for now. And when Leche comes out, I'll pull the camera back out. So he's just came out. He just came out and started the eating process. It's pretty uneventful to watch, but at least you get to see the boy. He's nice and healthy. I think it's about like probably pushing 2 feet now. Had him for about 2 going on 3 years, I think. Could be wrong, but yeah. If you guys do want to see a video of him doing a live feeding, I got like a little documentary style video on my channel. I'll put a little tab up there and check that out. But yeah, that's Leche. Pueblo milk snake. All right, and I saved the best for last. This is my jewel lacerta tank, my prized possessions. There are 2 in here currently. This is Rexy right here, the female, and the male is currently in this little hide right here, Rex. I'll lure him out with some dubious. He'll come out right away. And I'll get a little kaboom, and a little bit of shaky, bakey, shaky, wakey. Whoa. You see, they do not play around when it comes to eat time. Eat. Just gonna go ahead and work that. Ooh, don't let it get away. Oh, I think he let it get away. Oh, Rex, what are you doing, bro? Alright, I got you another one, boy. Come here. There you go. So these guys are extremely underrated lizard in the reptile trade. About the same size of a bearded dragon, but they, in my opinion, definitely cooler. This guy is about to go through a shed, so his colors aren't even as bright as they normally would be. But as you can see, they get that name, jewel lacerta, from the blue isosceles design or pattern on his sides. Incredible lizard. Extremely intelligent, extremely active. Here's Rex. She just came out of her hide, so she's gonna bask a little bit more before she gets hungry. I know their personalities and stuff. I spend a lot of time feeding them and whatnot, so I got a pretty good idea of how they operate and how they behave. So she'll eat a little bit later, but he's just greedy and he'll eat anytime, any day. I was thinking about doing like a care video on these guys, so if you guys want to see that, if you guys are interested in that, let me know. Super rewarding species to keep. This year, I'm going to try to cool them down and really attempt to breed them. I'm going to turn the lights off and stop feeding them and stuff here actually soon, because it's already snowing and whatnot, but I do want to see if I can get some eggs out of these guys next spring. I'm going to turn the lights off and do my best attempt to get them brumating. I just wanted to feed them for the purposes of this video. But yeah, beautiful animal, super intelligent. You can tell there's like some thought going on behind those eyes. It's not just like a gecko or so. Not saying geckos aren't smart, but these guys have like a different niche. You know, these are Europe's largest lizards, so they kind of occupy a different niche than most lizards would, and they behave like I don't know. It's almost like bird-like or mammal-like in terms of behavior. Super intelligent, super aware of their environment. They have like a relationship with each other where they'll like bask together. And you see he's coming up to check me out right now. I don't know why he didn't eat that. I think it was because the calcium was on there, but he'll get over it. They will occasionally also eat fruits and vegetables. I offer them like bananas and grapes, blueberries sometimes. They like to eat green beans too, surprisingly. But yeah, super dope, underrated lizards. Can't wait to upgrade them, give them a bigger setup. Can't wait. This spider plant is relatively new, so it does look a little barren here compared to the other tanks, and that's just because they dig up plants real easily, so you need a real hardy plant. And this spider plant seems to be surviving, surprisingly, so can't wait to see how that looks. And at least when it gets bigger in here. Plants are also good for adding humidity. You want to have those microclimates for your animals to shed properly and all that. They like to go into this water dish and then this little back there and dig and all that. Big burrowing, big digging dudes. You can see how he's trying to dig out that roach he just found. How they use their hands and stuff, you know what I mean? Like he's different. Definitely got a brain up there for sure.
I don't know if he'll get that roach though. It's kind of in a tight spot, but yeah, prime example of them foraging. Going for it again. Look at him trying to dig it out. This is good, natural behavior. Them using their brain and their arms and muscles to get to the prey, but yeah, that's them.
Well, that's gonna be just about it for this one, y'all. I know it wasn't the biggest of tours, quality over quantity, you know what I mean? But this is manageable. This is something realistic for the lifestyle I live. But you gotta start somewhere, you know what I mean? We'll look back on this video when I'm in a room bigger than this, just filled with tanks, wall to wall. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. A like, comment, subscribe is always appreciated. Don't forget to hit that bell if you don't want to miss my other uploads. And as always, thanks for watching. Deuces.